my name is Giorgia Bortoli. I am an independent pop music artist from Liverpool, and I'm also the creator of Pop in the Pool, which is a promotion organization thing for independent pop music artists in Liverpool. Yeah.
It is so exciting. And my first question for you is why you wanted to create this organisation.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about it for a really long time. I only kind of came into the independent music scene about 2 years ago now. And from the get-go, it was already really difficult to find gigs as a pop music artist in Liverpool. The independent scene seems to be kind of tailored towards more indie music and singer-songwritery acoustic music, which I love. Like I grew up on indie music, like it was the backbone of me adolescent years. But like I want to see more pop music in the independent scene. So because I saw the lack, I just decided that it was time for someone to create this an organization that was tailor-made for pop music artists in Liverpool, and it had to be me. So here I am.
How do you feel like it will influence the organisation? The fact that, it's tailor made for pop artists, but also the fact that it's going to be artist led because you are a pop artist yourself who's had to navigate, the challenges of existing on local music scenes as a pop artist.
I feel like because I have been on the other side of it, I kind of know the thoughts and the feelings that are going through the artist's minds and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to put them at ease and answer any questions that they might have. And I just kind of want to create like a safe space for people to come and share their music. Um, yeah, and meet other artists as well, so we can all kind of network and uplift each other. Yeah, and just kind of, get to know each other a little bit.
You mentioned like safe spaces, and I think that's probably one of the first things I think about when I think of you as a person and as a musician, because it's something that in your own music is like a central theme, and also around your own music, you always talk a lot about inclusivity and the way that you bring other people into that. I'd love to hear a bit about your approach to making this new space inclusive and welcoming to different people.
My hope is that with each gig will be different artists, so it's not just the same people all the time. Because I feel like I do find that some promoters seem to kind of favourite a few artists, and that's all right. But um with pop in the pool, I wanna be able to feature like all the pop artists that I can, because everyone deserves a fair whack, a fair go at it all, don't they? So yeah, that's kind of my hope. And we're starting off in the Liverpool Arts Bar, which I feel is a very safe space for artists. Kind of every time you go in there, it's just got that vibe that um you could literally talk to a stranger at the bar, and there'll be someone to do with music, and you'll just hit it off right away, and it just feels like a very safe, inclusive space. So I'm really glad to be kind of partnering with them and putting on the first Pop in the Pool gig there as well.
Do you think that by having these spaces available to go and see local pop artists, that maybe you'll encourage some people to venture into pop as a genre, that maybe like if they're starting out on the music scene and feel like they have to align with that kind of acoustic singer-songwriter open mic format, that they might feel like, maybe they should try making pop music or performing pop music themselves?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hope that whoever comes to watch or take part is inspired by the artists that are performing, whether that is to explore pop music more in their own songwriting and creation, then that's really great as well. I feel like there is a bit of what's the word? Like a bit of a prejudice against pop music within the independent scene. Um, when pop music is like it's the biggest genre in the world. I mean, it's just popular music at the end of the day. So there shouldn't be this prejudice around that. So hopefully with Pop in the Pool, we'll kind of push past all of that kind of prejudice.
It's really interesting to me because I think often, through doing lots of interviews with people in Merseyside, the consensus that I tend to get from people is that the Liverpool sound, or the sound that I guess is most supported or platformed, or even say if you look at like a Spotify playlist that's curated around Liverpool, a lot of it is a kind of like indie boy band sound. And obviously our original indie boy band is the Beatles, which is quite a funny full circle moment because obviously the Beatles are the fathers of pop music. They are the original pop band. So it feels funny that there isn't actually a space on the Liverpool music scene for pop that exists. It feels like culturally it's in the fabric of the city, and it's almost like a heritage that needs to be rediscovered.
Exactly. And, as we said, like pop music is just popular music at the time. So like my music is pop music, but it's influenced by dance music, it's influenced by electronic music, and it's kind of a fusion of a few different genres. Um,
You mentioned there in your own music about your dance influences. Obviously, dance is a music genre, but you also bring dance as an art discipline into your own music. And it's something that is expanded, I guess, beyond just the music itself and into a kind of community element to the way that you engage in the music scene. You invite people to learn dance with you, to dance to your music, but also just generally to explore choreography in an inclusive way. And I wondered about how that might evolve into Pop in the Pool as well. I think, maybe a big part of why pop isn't centred is because when you think of pop performances, you think of big, elaborate shows in stadiums. And so I wondered, a bit about the way that you think about formatting of these gigs, and if in the future you'd think about doing things that may be a bit more experimental to what we're used to seeing on smaller stages.
yeah, definitely. Personally, with the dance workshops and everything, I have mentioned to the dancers that my hope is that we'll be able to perform live together at some point. I mean, I've never seen that kind of stage set up with an artist and dancers in an independent scene as of yet. And it is definitely something that I'm interested in incorporating in my own music. And obviously, because I am a pop artist, that will translate over to Pop in the Pool at some point. I don't know when, hopefully soon. You never know. But yeah, I feel like of like for instance, the way I gig, it's just me and my laptop. It's all handmade backing tracks that I've produced myself and everything. But you feel naked up there because you've got nothing. There's no band behind you. I've tried to get a band. I'm still looking. If you're a musician out there and you want to join a band, hit me up. Um, but like so there's no one out there to kind of support you on the stage, and it's just you on your own. And I feel like with dancers it would bring another kind of level to the whole performance, and kind of um I can rely a bit on them, um and kind of focus on my job as a singer and a performer to kind of spread my message, instead of kind of focusing on movement myself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's an interesting point actually in terms of performance generally as a pop artist. Like you say, if you're on a lineup with people who are in bands, or even people who have like a piano or a guitar or some kind of instrumentation that occupies the stage with them, it can feel quite exposing then if you have to go on stage and almost feel like you're maybe in a kind of like karaoke-ish kind of position performing your own songs. I think it'll be really interesting seeing how having everyone kind of in that same position of using often backing tracks or a more, stripped back physical band and more having that central presence, how that will make people feel, like if that will make them feel empowered in performing in that way.
Yeah, I do feel like to do that, it's a different level of performance, as I said before, like you're completely on your own out there. There's no one else to kind of look back on for reassurance. It's just you. Um, so you do have to like prepare yourself. Because I do my like as well as the pop music, my day job is as a jazz singer, and that's just backing tracks singing as well. And sometimes you get in there, nobody claps for you, even though you know you've done a really good job. I'm not bad, I swear, I'm really good. It just I don't know, it's they're not impressed by the fact that you're not backed by a big live band. But what they don't know is, especially with the pop music, is that us pop artists, we've like crafted this backing track. It's taken hours, days, weeks, months maybe to create this track and create this song and have it at a level that we're comfortable with performing to. So there is that again, that prejudice within the independent music scene, not even just the independent music scene, just the music scene in general, that if you're not backed by a band, then you're not as good, or that kind of thinking and mentality. But it's not true. It's not true. And we're gonna dispel all this crap with Pop in the Pool. We're gonna show them.
Definitely, and I think it's an amazing opportunity to just, yeah, dispel any of those stigmas, and also just to get people to think a bit about the music that they engage with. Because if you listen to a track or you go and see your favourite artist live, when there's so much production around them, you're not thinking at all about the fact that there's clearly like a backing track, and often, usually, the singing as well is on the track, and a lot of it is lip syncing in these big stage productions. So yeah, I think it's actually, like you say, quite important to not only destigmatize that element of performance for pop artists, but also just to get listeners to think a bit more about, yeah, like the craft that goes into originally composing these tracks, and to think of pop artists not just as performers who are going out and singing, but as composers in their own right.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I do feel like personally, the fact that I didn't have a band did hold me back from releasing my music, from looking for gigs to perform in and things like that, because I felt like it wasn't enough just to go on with a backing track. But it is enough if you've got a message to share and you've done all this hard work to create that, then that is enough. And, hopefully Pop in the Pool will be a good platform for that. And especially artists just starting out and thinking that there's nowhere for them to go, because that's honestly how I felt in the beginning. Yeah, they're not alone. They've got a space here if they want it.
Amazing. That's so important. And I'd love to hear, you've already been sprinkling in little teasers about the first event that's coming up, about what we can expect from 2024 for Pop in the Pool.
So we have our first gig planned and in the books, which I'm really excited. Um, I was saying the other day, like I was planting seeds in 2023 to watch them flourish in 2024. So I started all the planning for the first gig the end of last year. Like I wanted it to be free for people to come along because of access issues, at the minute with the cost of living crisis and everything, people can't really afford to spend extra money, whether it be £5 or £10. So that was something that was important to me to have, for it to be a free event for anyone to attend. But we will be having bedazzled tip buckets. So if you're going to come along, please bring some cash with you and tip generously. This is all going to be split profit share between all the artists that are involved in the performance, in the gig, in the lineup. So hopefully we can give back to the artists and show our appreciation with the tips as well.
That is so exciting. I absolutely can't wait. And like you say, there's such a gap on the scene for pop specific events. I think everyone's been yearning for it for a long time. Like you say, it's what a lot of people listen to most of the time. So it's exciting to be able to actually go, and the fact that it's free as well, absolutely amazing. And my next question for you is how artists can get involved if there's emerging pop artists out there or people who are just interested in the project. How can they reach out to you and get involved in future events?
Yeah, so if you're interested, if you're a pop artist or just someone that kind of wants to get involved helping behind the scenes, because at the minute it's just me, then please do get in touch at Pop in the Pool on Instagram, or you can contact me at Giorgia Bortoli on Instagram, Facebook, all the socials as well. And I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Yeah, and hopefully I've already started creating a database of artists that have been in touch, and I want to work through that list to make sure everyone gets a slot and their time to shine. Yeah. And obviously, if you're not an artist and you do want to get involved behind the scenes, then we need people to like hold tip buckets and encourage people to tip and things like that. So please do get in touch for anything like that.
Amazing. And I think it'd be lovely to round up the interview, seeing as it is the new year and we're thinking about our dreams and our aspirations, to maybe like take a moment to think about, yeah, like your ultimate dream for this organisation. If it could go anywhere in the next couple of years, like what would you want it to be? What do you want it to encompass?
I was thinking about this. I feel like I'd really love to be able to do the Pop in the Pool gigs regularly. So like no, once every 2 months. I feel like would be a good kind of uh progression point to get to. And also bigger venues, larger capacity venues if and when, because it will happen. The demand is going to be there for independent pop music. Um, Venues such as Future Yard, I love Future Yard. It's one of my favorite independent music venues that's on a larger scale. So I'd love to get in there and do something with them and provide them with amazing independent pop music.
Wonderful. And this is a bit of a spontaneous question, so if you can't think of the answer at the end, that's fine. But if you could recommend like a track or even just a local artist who is an independent pop musician, that would be lovely.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend Cheery because she is on the lineup for the first Pop in the Pool gig. We met at Where Are the Girl Bands and Big Condo Records Women in Music event, and we've been contacting each other with different advice for things. I think I went and did a little live lounge for one of her singles, 90210 Poster. So I'll recommend that one as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. I can't wait to see all of the amazing things that you do.